Welcome to our Assisi kitchen. Let's cook together today. We're going to do together a very simple but delicious summer recipe using ingredients of the summer season: bell peppers, tomatoes, and of course, highlighting this dish will be our extra virgin olive oil, except nothing as a substitute for extra virgin for this dish. And we're going to add a touch of vinegar to this recipe too. This vinegar is not our vinegar, and when we produce our wine, we actually do not make vinegar as well, but all of our farm neighbors in the past years, when they made their wine, also made their own aceto or vinegar. This is a summer recipe. There are many summer recipes, including the zucchini and eggplant. These are from our garden. These are tomatoes from our garden. But the bell peppers are few and not yet ripe. So I purchased these bell peppers yesterday. Also these tomatoes, because we don't yet have these large ripe tomatoes in our garden. This Sicilian recipe called La Peperonata, this pepper dish, was taught to me by my beloved mother-in-law, Pino's mother, Signora Vincenza. She didn't just teach me how to cook. She taught me memorable lessons of life. And so let me say that I'd like to make this presentation, shall we say, dedicated to Signora Vincenza, the peperonata. These are our ingredients: peperonata, olio di oliva extra virgin, vinegar, garlic, and of course we're going to need salt. The first step is the slicing of the peppers. And we don't waste anything. So we're slicing off the top in this way. This is the first piece that is going to be used. Then we cut strips, which are not too slim actually, but quite thick. Because if you make the strips too thin, they're going to get mushy in frying. You don't want to have a lot of contact with the frying oil to the vegetable. And I'm going to set all the scraps aside. For our goats, we have over 20 goats. I think tonight when we have this peperonata dish, we'll also probably have some of Pino's goat milk cheese as the main course. In summer evenings, we don't eat much. Could be tomato and mozzarella salad. For us, it's often Pino's goat milk cheese. These are going to be sauteed in olive oil. Actually, I would say fried. The olive oil should be spitting after garlic cloves have been heated and cooked a bit, turned golden in the olive oil. And I'm finishing now the slicing of the bell peppers, and all these scraps are going to the goats. The interior part is delicious goat food. They will enjoy it very much. And this part we're saving for cooking. And I've actually done all this in another beautiful Sicilian ceramic piece. And I'm probably going to serve the peppers in this dish. More Sicilian ceramics right here. So in our house we have Deruta ceramics like this. Contemporary Deruta. Sicilian. This is actually from Rome. Our house is full of touches of the cultures we're associated with, the regions we're associated with. Now we're going over to the stove and we are going to fry the peppers. I'll put them right here. And I have our extra virgin olive oil. And I am going to pour it right in the frying pan. You want a stainless steel frying pan. I'll move my cooking spoons right over here. And these strings are hanging here because Pino uses them to tie up some of his cheeses, actually. And you can see the olive oil here, the amount of olive oil. And we'll start frying the olive oil. And I'm putting in the garlic cloves. 3, 4, 5. You know, the annotation in Italian recipes is always QB, quanto basta, as much as it takes. You ask someone, how much salt do I put in? QB. How much olive oil? QB. This looks like the right amount of olive oil. It's covering the bottom of the pan. I'm feeling like a garlicky peperonata today, so I've got 4 in there. Might put in this later. They're going to stay in until they turn golden. Then I'm going to lift them out, set them aside, and put the peppers in. The garlic is becoming golden, and I'm starting to slide it out and slide in the peppers. The peppers should be dry, so you don't have too much spitting olive oil. I washed these peppers not long ago, put them out in the sun to dry, so they're not soaking wet. And they should be nicely spaced. And while the peppers are frying, I am going to be cutting the tomatoes, which will be added here once all the peppers are nicely browned. That's about as many as I want together. Snip this off. This will either go to the goats or our chickens for a little nibble. And as the peppers are cooking and frying, the tomatoes are cut into pieces about that size. So I'm going to do all these tomatoes. And then after my peppers are cooked, I'll add the tomatoes after adding a shot of vinegar to the peppers. I'll show you that in a second. You see that the peppers are beginning to blister. It's time to add the salt. How much? This is coarse salt for cooking. About that much for now. And as they blister, I'm going to flip them over, take them out, drain them on this brown paper. Please recycle as much as you can. We have never bought paper towels in our life. When I need to fry something, what is this? This was the bag my bread came in. Perfectly hygienic. And that they're kept aside, folded, and we use them when we have to fry. So I don't yet, here's one. Almost ready. Nope, I still don't have quite a blister yet. We're getting close though. So we'll let them go a few seconds more. We're starting to see these peppers blister. One comes out, another goes in, and that way you're not going to burn the oil. You don't want to leave naked oil, for example. I had another one over here. Let's see, we're going to grab him. He comes out, and this one goes in. Getting very close to the point where we add the vinegar. Vinegar, often used in Sicilian cooking. People were poor. I don't think Pino's family had a refrigerator when he was a child. If they did, very small. So much of the Sicilian summer cooking includes vinegar. If you have leftover peperonata, don't put it in the fridge. Refrigeration kills the flavor. Leave it out. It has vinegar in it. It won't go bad, even if it's hot, hot, hot. Okay, the last ones are going in, and we'll soon be adding the vinegar to it. So, as you can see, I'm quickly slipping out and quickly popping in. And we're very close to the final step of our peperonata. And have a look at the Sicilian ceramics. Isn't that beautiful? This is from a city near Palermo. I believe this is Santo Stefano di Camastra. Here's our little garlics here. There's a stray one in there, and that's just fine. When we blistered the peppers, it's time to add a splash of vinegar. And we're blistering our last peppers now. Take a second. Now we've fried our peperonata. They've come out, beautifully fried, nicely blistered. And I still have some in the pan. These are the last. It's time to return these to the pan, to the other ones. Here we go. And now we are going to add the vinegar. How much vinegar? QB. There we go. White wine vinegar. See the nice steam? I guess I added about a glassful. And now I bring up the heat once again. And I let it simmer a bit till the peppers absorb most of the vinegar. Then I'll be adding the tomatoes and let it simmer. And we've made the peperonata. There you go. And the vinegar, of course, is going to preserve and adds a nice touch to it. You want wine vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar. I used white wine. They both work well. Not apple cider vinegar. I'd say for this dish, absolutely go with the wine vinegar. Our peppers have blistered nicely. They've simmered in the wine vinegar, which I poured in. And now it's mostly evaporated, the wine vinegar. It's time to add the tomatoes. How many? I don't know. Here there are probably 6 or 7 ripe tomatoes. Even riper would have been ideal. I purchased them yesterday from the people where I always purchase our vegetables, who grow wonderful vegetables of Lotta Integrata, the integrated fight. I've written about them on my blog. Closest you can get to actually full organic. Now this is going to simmer until all the tomatoes cook down. Our peperonata is cooked and ready to be served. And you can see that the tomatoes have cooked down. This will be our vegetable for dinner tonight with Pino's cheese. And I hope someday soon you too will enjoy La Peperonata for a summer night. Here we are. La Peperonata, Sicilian goodness, cooked in Umbria. Buon appetito.